So I just wanted to share with you something new that I've set up. So every month on a Saturday I do a free training day in the town near to where I live. And normally to do a training with me would cost about £149 per person to attend, and you could be there with perhaps 20 or 30 other people. Whereas this training is totally different. I'm offering it on a Saturday, one Saturday every month, and you can find out the details at danjoneshypnosis.com/free-training. So that's danjoneshypnosis.com/free-training. And this free training is from 10 AM till 4 PM on one Saturday every month. So all the dates are over on my website. And it's a very informal training. So normally when I hold a training day, I will advertise a specific training that's going to take place. I will say, this is what you're going to learn on this training. So if you're interested in learning this, come along. So it could be, come along to this training where you're going to learn self-hypnosis, or come along to this training where you're going to learn about Ericksonian hypnotic language patterns, or come along to this training where you're going to learn about how to do rapid hypnotic inductions. So normally that's how the training is, that there's a specific reason why the training's happening, and that training will have here's the structure to it, here's what you're going to learn on it, and then obviously there's the question of, are you willing to part £149 of your money for this training, for what you're going to learn here? Whereas this is different. So what I think of it as is, it's a little bit like how Milton Erickson, late in his life, used to do his informal hypnotherapy training seminars. So people would turn up at his house and they'd sit around in a big circle or in like an audience in front of him, and he would start telling stories, he would answer their questions, and based on what their answers were and how things were flowing depended on what was going to happen in that session. So if someone started asking, for example, about phobias, he would then start talking about phobias, talking about treating phobias. If someone's got a phobia, he would then perhaps get them out of the audience and treat them of that phobia in front of the rest of the audience, and then be able to talk about it afterwards, about, this is what I just did, this is how it went, what did you see me do, and have a whole dialogue around that. And I'm no Milton Erickson, so I can't expect people to come along for an entire day just to hear me talk and watch me do demonstrations, because people might be travelling from quite some distance and they might think, but I want some practical experience here as well, I want to do something. So what I decided to do was mix that kind of approach of, look, this is quite a free and open kind of training course. There's not a fixed structure, so there's a structure in terms of when break times will be and things like that, but the actual content, there's not a fixed structure. I'll have some ideas of what I think, oh, if people can't come up with anything, I'll cover these things during the day. But my structure isn't a hard and fast rule. My structure is just a loose structure that I will draw upon if I need to fill time because people aren't coming up with anything that they want to work on. And so what I thought was to do a mix of how Milton Erickson used to do it, of come along, ask me questions, and I'll do demonstrations in front of you. I will talk and educate you about hypnosis, about therapy, about working with different types of clients, about different techniques, all these different things. But also as part of it, if I've been talking to you about a specific technique or a specific way of doing something, then you can take time to practice that as well and get a bit of practical knowledge. So people can break out into pairs, for example, or into threes, and then do little exercises and things. So that's sort of how this training runs. And as I say, this is free and there's only limited spaces. So normally you'd be paying £149 for this kind of training. It would be very structured. So if you came to learn about rapid inductions, I'm not going to go into detail talking about conversational hypnosis. If you came to learn about conversational hypnosis, I'm not necessarily going to go into detail talking about rapid inductions, because the training course that I'm running that people are paying for is the thing that was on paper when you paid for it. It's not something that's able to be changed and adapted when you're actually physically there. And you're also there with perhaps 30 people. Whereas this, there's ideally only going to be between 10 to 12 people, based on the last one I ran, where I thought this is the kind of size I'd like it to be. So I ran one in April, which is the first one, and that made me think what kind of size I felt would be a nice size where there's enough of a mixture of people, but at the same time a bit of interaction and everyone gets to have a say. So not too small but not too large. So this is only for perhaps 12 people, 14 people. So there's limited spaces, and you can only access it by contacting me via my website and requesting access, because as there's limited spaces, obviously if all the spaces are taken, then I can't just have random people turning up, because you won't get in, because it'll already be full. So I just wanted to be able to share this with you, because it's something that I haven't done for a number of years. I used to regularly run live free training events, and they were reasonably popular, but then the room that I used to use ended up being used as a pool hall. The owners, it was above a pub, and so the owners decided that it was better value to ship in a couple of pool tables and have it as a pool hall instead of having it as an empty room that we could use, that myself and my best friend who was running the training with me back then, that we could run. So I thought this time round, I've got a venue, I've paid for the venue, and I'm offering free training. So if you've been through, for example, my online hypnotherapy training courses or my online solution-focused therapy training courses, and you want to take your training to the next level, you want to get some practical experience, my training is on the GHR, General Hypnotherapy Register website. It's on the Continued Professional Development site as Continued Professional Development, so people that attend can put those hours down towards their continued professional development. And it's something that really is an opportunity to have you learn what it is that you want to learn. So say there's some skills that you think, I really want to brush up on, whatever. So for example, say you think, I really struggle with smoking clients, so I want to brush up on my ability to deal with smokers. So then when you come along, you can ask about smoking, ask about smokers, ask about what sort of things help for treatments and all different things like that. And that could become then some focus. And if there's a smoker in the room, I can work with that smoker in front of the rest of the group, and then we can all have a discussion about what I did, why I did what I did, what sort of outcomes I would expect from what I did, and all these sort of things. So likewise, if someone said, I've been doing hypnosis, I've been learning hypnosis with scripts, I'm good at using scripts, I'm good at being quite structured, but I want to get used to doing conversational hypnosis, then again, that can come up. We can do some demonstrations, and you can then go and practice these things. And if you come along regularly, then obviously you get the most out of it. So if you book on and then say, I want to attend regularly, I want to attend every single month, then by doing that, you get to continually keep progressing and keep learning new stuff and getting the most out of it, because you're not just attending one isolated one. You're able to bring up issues and bring up learning from the previous one and say, I've been implementing this since the last session. And so I think, what I really want to see is a group of dedicated people who are interested in hypnosis. So probably ideally those who are hypnotherapists, counsellors, NLP practitioners, maybe you're into emotional freedom technique or something like that, and you've got an interest in hypnosis as well. People that are new to hypnosis, perhaps just started studying hypnosis, but people who want to come along regularly to learn on a regular basis over time and get the most out of this. So that's kind of in my mind how I'd love to see this go. But because I'm paying for the venue, I'm paying for a full day's worth of use of a room every single month, because I'm not charging, because this is free for you guys, for whoever is interested in wanting to come along to this and wanting to learn hypnosis, learn hypnotherapy, because it's free and because I'm paying, I'm not able to, or I'm not willing to put lots of money behind advertising this. So that's why I'm making this YouTube video, whereas normally I wouldn't make a YouTube video about a training course that I'm going to be running. I would do Facebook ads, and I'd do Google AdWords, and I would do local advertising. I'd do all these sort of things and spend money to get people onto the training course. But obviously I'm doing this for free, and so I don't want to end up too out of pocket to do it, but I want to be able to help people and have people who are interested coming along. So if you are interested and you want to learn from me directly, in sort of live, rather than having to learn, say, on one of my e-courses or anything like that, or you've learnt from my e-courses but want to be able to get some practical experience to put all that into practice, then this can be a great opportunity to do that. So if you are interested, head over to danjoneshypnosis.com/free-training, and if you just go to danjoneshypnosis.com, there's a tab along the tab bar at the top which says free training. Click on that and you'll be on the page. That gives you all the details plus the dates that I've got booked in currently. I booked in 6-month chunks. So I booked in the 6 months, and then towards the end of the 6 months I'll book in my next 6-month chunk. So if you're interested in coming along, go to that page, check out the details, check out what's involved, what the criteria is, all these different bits and pieces. And part of it is that you've got to actually send me an email with some information in it. So send me that email, and then I will get back to you and confirm that you've got a place, assuming that there are spaces, and you can put down which one you want to attend, which dates you want to attend, or which dates. So if you want to book on all of them, obviously, as I say, there's only limited spaces, so you might want to book on all of them, then you can do that. So if you are interested, head to my website, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video here on my YouTube channel.